As we all know, Nina Turner is running for Ohio's 11th district, that congressional race, because of a vacated seat left by Marcia Fudge, who's now serving in Biden's administration. Now, her Democratic challenger in the primary is a woman that we've talked about quite a bit on the show, Shontel Brown, who recently spoke at a rally event that didn't go so well. It did not go so well. Let's take a look at what it looked like.
It's Sunday. Does anybody have a but God in their spirit? But God. So 11 days later, I learned that there were 23 provisional ballots in my race and that I had won by 7 votes. 7 votes. 7 votes. Can anybody say 7? Okay, so that 7 has been so significant to me because as a child of faith, 7 represents perfection, completion, and God. So I often credit this journey of public service to His divine intervention, grace, mercy, and favor. And so the statistical data points so that we can be sure to receive the resources, the funding, and support to reverse decades of discrimination in the Black community. And I'm proud to say, despite being the Democratic Party chairperson, I was able to get that done with bipartisan support. Bipartisan support, done unanimously.
Yeah, you kind of do need a clap track when you talk about bipartisan support and how, as a Democrat, you're able to get bipartisan support. You're able to negotiate with the worst people who want to defeat every public policy that would actually significantly and materially improve people's lives. So yeah, you can hear the clap track because there are examples of no clap track and it sounds pretty bad. And then you hear the clap track later on in the video, which is the most obvious thing in the world. Look, it's obviously not a lot of people were at that rally. I don't want to hate on her because you don't hear a thunderous round of applause. I think it's terrible to use a clap track, so don't do it anyway. But understand the reason why there isn't a lot of energy around her campaign is because of what she represents. And it's just more of the same milquetoast corporate Democrat, and she is taking corporate money, right, for her campaign donations, that people are at this point completely disillusioned by, have no interest in, because they want significant change. And that's what Nina Turner offers. She's been incredibly aggressive and an incredible advocate for the very policies that we need in this country, which is why she absolutely needs to win that primary. But Cenk, as you know, it looked like smooth sailing until corporate Democrats got involved, corporate donors got involved and started backing Shontel Brown to ensure that Nina Turner doesn't win that primary. But we got to help her out. We got to make sure she does.
Yeah, so it's, by the way, ninaturner.com/hello, because there's tons of corporations that are giving money to Brown. Okay, so you got to help fight back if you're in her camp. Okay, so now so many interesting things about the story. Number one, this takes Jeb Bush to another level. You remember, of course, famously he said, "Please clap." Well, Shontel didn't bother asking people to clap. She's like, "DJ, make sure you got that ready, because I know I'm totally fabricated candidate, total corporate cutout robot, and I have no actual human support. So when I say these certain words, I want you to play what we're calling the clap track, right? Which is, it's like out of a sitcom when they do the ha 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 laugh track, right? Yeah. I mean, look at it. And she's like, and one of the lines, and she did it throughout the speech, but one of the lines was when she talks about 7 votes. That's why she repeated, it seems like that's why she repeated it so many times, because she's trying to tell the DJ, remember, that's the line where you're supposed to go, oh, how are you? Oh, sing their line, oh, we're so happy, right? The 7 might be referring to the 7 people that were at that actual rally, but anyway, and I don't know how many of them were corporate lobbyists. So think about the preparation they had to do. We suck, we know we suck, so make sure you have the DJ bring a thing where people have artificial clapping because we know we have no actual support. Nina Turner's rallies, town halls are jam-packed. We did a town hall with her and Killer Mike, and it was standing room only, literally, right? You didn't need anybody to do fake clapping there, but they know they suck. That's why they had to bring that in. And then so she says 7 votes, 7 votes, like, and then finally when the DJ plays it, she looks back and goes, "Hey DJ,
Yeah, she felt relieved. But gotta give her and her campaign credit. I mean, at least she planned ahead.
Yeah, that's true. And then she talked about divine intervention. Well, I don't know if it's divine or not, but Democratic Majority for Israel, which is a right-wing group pretending to be favoring Democrats, but they actually do give money to corporate Democrats because they think that's a good way to capture the Democratic Party and make them serve the right-wing government of Israel. And other corporate interests, by the way, spent $738,000 doing negative attack ads on Nina Turner and $203,000 supporting her opponent Brown, the same woman you're seeing here. And they're, again, anti-Turner attack ads, digital ads, direct mail pieces. Now, one of those direct mail pieces is really interesting because they're pretending that Nina Turner is against $15 minimum wage, when she's the one that tried to put that into the Democratic platform in the first place. So Democratic Majority for Israel and Brown's campaign, that tells you two things about them. One, they're horrible liars. They don't mind lying to you at all. You might not know if you're a random person in the 11th district in Ohio, but they know Nina Turner's fought for $15 minimum wage more than anybody in the country. But they tell voters, oh no, she is against $15 minimum wage. They also say she's against universal health care.
It's so sick.
Chantel Brown is actually against universal health care. Yeah. Nina Turner is a fighter for universal health care. They know they're lying. Isn't that amazing? And by the way, Congressional Black Caucus helping out. Why? They take corporate money. Congressional Hispanic Caucus sending money to Democratic Majority for Israel. What in the world? Why? Because they take corporate money. It's the elites versus the rest of us. Hey, we already made it into Congress. We're all good, okay? We all take corporate money. If Nina comes, she might expose us. Is it the entire Congressional Black Caucus? Absolutely not. Cory Bush and Jamal Bowman are going down to help Nina Turner in a race this weekend. We're covering it on TYT. You should check out that rally. Bernie Sanders is going too, because everybody's got to chip in and help because they're spending millions. It's not just Democratic Majority for Israel. By the way, what is the effect of that? Brown asked for their help. She put up a red box. That's a long story. You should read The Intercept's Ryan Grimm's great story in The Intercept. We covered it before. It's basically a cue to special interest group and lobbyists. I'm for sale. Take these videos on these issues and attack my opponent with it. And so she's already done that. And she put up a quote from one of the founders of Democratic Majority for Israel. In other words, saying, here, come here. I'll do anything for you guys as long as you spend money against my opponent. And guess what? They asked Brown what her position on Israel is. She says, we should give them money unconditionally.
Yeah, let me actually read you this excerpt from The Real Sludge, because it shows you the very clear difference between these two candidates. On Israel, Brown told Jewish Insider that she would vote to continue sending the country, Israel, $3.8 billion a year in military aid with no conditions, while Turner said she supports conditioning the aid to align with significant advances in human rights. Basically, of course, the treatment of Palestinians by the Israeli government. So, I mean, look, I'm not in favor of sending anyone any money unconditionally, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, I don't care what country it is, I don't care what person it is. There should always be conditions, especially when you're talking about human rights abuses. So again, there's a significant difference there between the two candidates.
Like, for example, right now Bolivia has a leftist government that wanted a democracy, we're thrilled about it, etc. Should we give money to Bolivia unconditionally? Well, no, it depends. Is it the right-wing government that was in charge or the left-wing government that's in charge today, right? The right-wing government was awful. The left-wing government is great. Doesn't it depend? Of course it depends. Nope, not if it's Israel and not if they spent $1 million in your campaign, right? And so, but by the way, guys, I don't want you to get distracted by Israel. And I don't, this isn't about that. It's just that this happens to be another right-wing group that has captured the Democratic Party. Here's other, maybe perhaps even more relevant lobbyists that are sending money to Brown, who's Nina Turner's opponent. ExxonMobil, Comcast, Google, Pfizer. So drug companies are like, no. Nina Turner's for Medicare for all, universal health care. No, don't do that. The oil companies are like, oh, Brown, we'll just buy her. And she'll do whatever we tell her to do.
Right.
And so she's pretending to be in favor of certain progressive policies. Of course not, we own her. We gave her tons and tons of money. And look at what she did for Democratic Majority for Israel. She's already preemptively told them, I will never question you, right? That's what a corporate Democrat is. Now, by the way, NinaTurner.com/hello, and you fight back against ExxonMobil, etc. She does it, Nina Turner does it $5, $10 at a time from real people. That's why we tell you about ninaturner.com/hello. Meanwhile, these guys are doing it millions of dollars at a time. But one last thing, guys, think about it. Right before the election, even the worst corporations in America are pretending they're for $15 minimum wage and universal health care. They are not. But they're pretending that Brown is, and Nina Turner's against it. Why? Because they know the voters are progressive. So they have to lie to you to get you to vote for ExxonMobil and drug companies and defense contractors.
Don't let them get away with it.
ninaturner.com/hello. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.